It is that guy. Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. It is that guy. It's literally that guy. It's literally that guy, Socialix. This is, like, I just, generally speaking, like, I find my experience of the world to be something that is itself incredulous. Like, Donald Trump is bombing Iran as the My Pillow guy interviews Rudy Giuliani about how he shouldn't have done that. And it's real news that people are talking about. I hate our world. But once in a while, there's a thing that is so incredulous to me that I can't help go, no. And thus, we have predictive history. Do you remember Chang? Do you remember this guy? Oh, come on. You're working. I know you're working. I just was doing this, you fucking stupid thing. I know you were working a moment ago. You fucking thing. Okay. You don't want to. That's fine. It's that one.
To the end of the world. So as you know,
he clearly has a class. The guy who clearly always has a class is one of my least favorite people on YouTube. Like, I don't like have another way to talk about this. I hate this. Like, I fundamentally hate this. I fundamentally fucking hate this guy and this shit. We watched a couple of his videos. Sundays laughed and watched him. He's a fucking nutcase. He's a nutcase in a really particular way. He teaches at a high school in Beijing. He doesn't have his class there. He doesn't. He got a BA of English Lit at Yale, which is, hey, I would happily listen to him talk about a very particular set of things. But he has no background in political science, military strategy, international relations scholarship, or his favorite thing to talk about, which is game theory. Which, game theory is interesting, but what everyone calls game theory is not interesting. So he lives in a space of basically building out historical analogies that on their surface make sense. He plays with speculative, like, common sense notions of things. But he gets these viral moments because he says stuff that is like crazy, huge, broad stroke predictions, acting like he predicted something that was rare. He predicted that Donald Trump was going to win the election. Are you fucking kidding me? That's a thing that he's going to tout. He touts it. He touts that like, oh yes, I predicted Trump was going to win the election. Good for you. It was 50-50 shot, and I got to tell you, we all kind of knew where it was going to go. So he's just winging it. Yeah, he's a bullshit artist. He's a bullshit artist. Why am I talking about this? We're going to watch his fucking stupid video. Do not get me wrong. We're going to watch this video.
World War III has started. The United States and Israel have started to attack Iran.
Look, World War III has not started. I get that it's a funny joke, but he actually believes that. Like, that's what he's calling it. Hey, look, it's Crystal. I like Crystal. Crystal's great. I wonder, oh, wait, what's that say in that bottom right? Oh, no, Crystal, no.
All right, guys, we've got yet another heavy hitter.
No.
Guest and first-time guest on the show, Professor Zhang. He is the star of the popular YouTube channel Predictive History. He's
Sagar is basically like a waste of skin and suit. At least he gets decent suits. Crystal has occasionally good points. I don't have a lot of respect for them because they do shit like this. This is insane. So again.
All right, guys, we've got yet another heavy hitter guest and first-time guest on the show. Professor Zhang, he is the star of the popular YouTube channel Predictive History. He uses game theory to analyze past, current, and to predict future geopolitical events. And he joins us now.
I hate everything. I hate everything. This is one step below just having What is Alt-Hist come on and ramble on ayahuasca. This is not a person who is serious. This is not a person who understands or reads. He doesn't care. He fakes shit, and people like his shit because it's simple for brain-dead children.
Now, Professor, great to have you.
Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. So, for people who aren't familiar with your work, I wanted to show folks that back in 2024, you made 3 big predictions. One, that Trump would win.
Dear God, Crystal, he did? My God, that's wonderful. He must have his hands on some semblance of a crystal ball. Oh, wait.
2, that he would start a war with Iran.
Oh, wow. No one could have imagined that. Wow. Trump, after he won, might start a war with Iran again.
And 3, that the U.S. would lose that war. Let's take a look.
I hate everything. Like, genuinely. This is the stuff that, like, if you want to know what gets my blood pressure up, it's this. Shit like this, mentalities like this, people who talk like this, people who treat shit like this. This is the dumbest fucking thing. And this is Breaking Points is ostensibly supposed to be news. This is all you need to know. It's not. How many predictions does he get wrong? He can't get predictions wrong. He says basically, and he gets a lot wrong to be fair, but he basically says things that are like open-ended. So that way he can always come out the other side. Again, Trump winning? Whoa, oh my God. Trump starting war with Iran? Oh my God. Now, U.S. losing, there's no... The U.S. already won this war. I hate to break it to anyone who's like having a different discussion. The Ayatollah and most of his leadership is dead. Iran's fucked. It's over. But they're going to find a way to work it out. Don't worry.
Listen to that.
In this class this semester,
I love it. Dude, does no one go, hey, wow, you teach class on World War III? Well, no, I teach a high school English class. Well, that's weird. Why do you teach this in an English class? Oh, I don't. I show up early and I record in my classroom because it gives me authority over the people who are looking at it because they're basically stupid.
I'm making 3 big predictions, right? First is that Trump will win in November. Second is that the United States will go to war against Iran. And the third big prediction is that the United States will lose this war, which will forever change the global order.
So
What the fuck?
obviously, that last one is the only one that has not yet come to fruition. Is quite a stunning prediction. You know, do you stand by it, and what have you seen so far that leads you to sort of stand firm in that conclusion?
So, given my analysis of how the war is progressing,
I hate the internet. Mrs. Dixter doesn't work the same way for Iran as it does for Venezuela. The regime isn't far from collapse nor capitulating yet. Oh, no. Iran's fucked. Iran's fucked. Venezuela actually has a better chance of pulling out of this, and I wouldn't say Venezuela's fucked in the same way. today we blew up the group that picks the next leader. Like, do you understand? There's no group now to pick the next leader.
I think that Iran has many more advantages over the United States. The reality is that right now, it's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran.
What does that mean in this context? What does that mean in this context? Iran at this point, my understanding is they have no more navy. Like, and I laugh. This is horrifying. Like, I'm not happy about any of this. I think it's insane and awful. But to say that it's a war of attrition, we've eliminated the navy. They have no more modern jets. Their jets are being shot down by like nothing. They don't have rockets of any significance. They have whatever Russia has sent them recently. We don't have a lot of knowledge on that, but a war of attrition? What does that even mean? How does that language work here? He won't explain this, I have a feeling, but what the fuck?
And the Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict. In their eschatology, in their religion,
in their eschatology, I need to use big words. I need to use more jargon and just tell people that I know what's going to happen. Eschatology is kind of like the theology around how your religion or religious views handle final judgment, death, things like that. The last things kind of is the idea. I'm just going to say that's not true. I'm just going to say that's not true. I'm going to also say the rest of this isn't true. The idea that Iran has been preparing for 20 years. One, no, they've been preparing for 40 years if you're going to be going there. There's not something that happened 20 years ago that made them go, oh, fuck, the United States, we should start preparing. That isn't what happened. They've been ready for Western aggression and bombing because we've done it a bunch of times and we've done a whole bunch of shit to them, and Israel has as well. Iran's had shit happening, but to flatten everything in this way is really kind of dumb, because you have to understand that there are people that live there and the politics there, as much as Khomeini or any of these guys absolutely were like Muslim extremists, they weren't like head in the clouds Muslim extremists. You can't run a country for 40 years and be just like head in the clouds idealist. Like, it's an insane statement. Hey, End Time. Welcome, End Time people. We're watching Grift on a grifting show, grifting.
this is a war against the great Satan. They've had
That they use that language is not meaning that they're...
many practice runs. Last June was a 12-day war when the Iranians were able to examine and analyze the strike capacities of both the Israelis and the Americans. And
Yes. Last June was a win for Iran. They got a whole bunch of knowledge out of it. They got all that fucking data, and they've been preparing ever since. You fucking whack job. How do you let this person on a show? You're platforming someone smaller than you who's completely full of shit. Now, to be fair, Breaking Points is already doing that. They have Sagar. But still, this is, I think, incredibly irresponsible.
and they've had a lot of time, 8 months, to prepare fully for this new attack.
Yeah, it worked out for them too, by the way. Clearly, they were really prepared. Fuck me. I think my personal thought, there's actually a really good chance that they didn't do that. My money is that they actually have been handling this, presuming that they have the backing of some people who probably told them, don't worry, we got your back if you ever get attacked again. We'll do more. We can't get involved now because it's more of a proxy thing. But if the U.S. ever does something, that's kind of what they've been playing with. That's why Iran, when they went back, they blew up an airbase that had nobody in it, and they kind of announced they were doing it beforehand. There's like back and forth tate-on-tate bullshit and saber rattling. Not this time. Turns out, by the way, nah, no one's going to come to their defense because that's because they were never going to.
They, through their proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shia militias, have been able to really grasp the American mentality, and now they have a pretty...
Wait, what?
Militias have been able to really grasp the American mentality, and now they have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire.
What the fuck are you talking about? This ain't going to do it. Of all the shit America's doing, this is not going to be like the straw that broke the camel's back. This is actually going to be, my opinion, one step of a thing we're going to do for a few weeks. It's going to turn out in that awful, awful way like Venezuela has. Overall, fine. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I back it. But it was overall fine in the end. Venezuela hasn't collapsed. There's not rioting in the streets. People aren't eating each other. There's oil coming out. We're sending it to Israel because that's what we do. But we committed major levels of war crimes, killed a bunch of people, and it turned out fine. And that's all that matters to people, it seems. So this is going to happen. We're going to blow the shit out of Iran. It's going to kill a bunch of people. And at the end of it, like with Gaza, oh, I guess it's just not as awful as it used to be. Everything's fine. We live in fine times. Trump won't get deported. No. We'll do this for a few weeks, and it's going to be exciting for him. And his hardliners, if you haven't seen, End Time was doing a bit on it. Hegseth and the hardcore Christian right, who are a tiny fraction. When I say tiny, like sub 3% of American population. And that's at most. I actually don't even think it's that many. Believe that we are doing this to bring about the apocalypse. Hegseth and his leadership have been telling commanders that. That might undo things in America, but it ain't Iran. Iran is not a player in our politics in that way. Not at all. Not even slightly.
So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy. And so they're striking.
That's just dumb as shit. How are they waging war against the global economy? Russia's not even backing, like they're not doing anything. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
The GCC countries. And not only are they striking GCC countries, American bases, but they're going after the critical energy infrastructure of these bases. They blocked off the Strait of Hormuz. And eventually, they will go after the water desalination.
They went after Hormuz. Hey, guess what was the thing we really didn't use? Because, it was kind of a thing. Yeah.
Plants, which is a lifeblood.
Where did they find this goober? This goober has a YouTube channel with almost as many subscribers as they have. 1.43 million. His video he put out on the 3rd.
Here I go anti-anything. Ho ho.
Sandring Person 6520 super chatted $10. Ha. I got around the restriction. Hi Brooks.
How you doing, Isandering? Isandering in the End Time channel, if you haven't seen. Sorry, Isandering, I'm plugging you here too. Has offered. And I suggest this because if you don't have, and I say this with all the love, a gun nut in your world, you need one. And most of us don't, because weapons are a thing to not be enjoyed. But some people do. If you don't have one of those, Zandring has made the very kind offer to help anyone on the left get to the place where they can be armed, get comfortable with it, go through the process correctly, know what they should get, how they should get. I'm assuming how they can store it, safety elements, places to join, things to do, how to get around all those things, how to do those things the correct way. So that way you can do all that stuff. It's in the End Time Discord server. Titan, you can link to the Discord server in the channel if you want. So just giving shouts out, and thank you very much for the $10, Zandring. And thank you for the raid, Nick. This guy has 1.3 million subs. You and I don't have this many views. Like, and he's on breaking points with two absolute ballers.
Of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. In fact, the water desalination plant provides 60% of the GCC's water supply. So if a drone, and these drones cost $50,000, if they wiped out a desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and it's a city of 10 million people, right? They'd be out of water in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And right now, the Iranians have de facto closed off the Strait of Hormuz, and the GCC gets 90% of its food from the Strait of Hormuz. So I know a lot of people are talking about the disruptions to the global economy, but right now, the Iranians are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. And why this is important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell.
Here is a person who doesn't understand how things work. Professor Zhang, they've closed the Strait of Hormuz. No. What does that mean, dude? Because to me, it would mean that they closed it. Do they have doors? No. Do they have a bunch of ships? No. Did they broadcast on a VHF channel 16 that it was closed? Yes. Is there anything that has stopped anyone going through? No. Our boat's still going through. Yeah. Does anyone do anything? I mean, there's a threat, so it's dangerous, but how do you fucking shut down the Strait of Hormuz? I don't get it. I don't like, what is the thing they're doing?
Petrodollars, and then you recycle.
They don't have mines. Iran is not doing great right now.
The petrodollars back into the American economy.
No, and they didn't threaten mine. They threatened to set fire to ships, which is the same threat you saw the Houthis do in Yemen. And yeah, it can slow down commercial traffic, but it's not the thing. It's not the fucking thing. The shit's
Iranians
insane.
are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. And why this is important is that
it almost went by. He's talking about desal plants. Okay. If you were playing war games with Yang, he might do pretty well. He's talking about how they've got these drones and they can totally wipe out this desal plant. But they haven't. In fact, as far as I know, they haven't targeted any water infrastructure. As far as I know, we haven't actually targeted water infrastructure there. And we've been going for like a week now. Almost a week, 5 days, 4 days. Iran is attacking specific shit, American bases. If Iran were to walk across the line and actually attack infrastructure that puts Saudi Arabia at risk, that is a thing that would change how Saudi Arabia is handling this. Like, he's he's right in that if this happened, but if it happened, it would absolutely destroy shit. For Iran, specifically, by the way, specifically for Iran. And that's the thing where it's like, when he's talking, he's like, oh, they're going to shut this down. They're going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. They're going to do all this thing. Sure. But, for example, the UAE for years has talked about that they know that there is this really weird, everything's boats coming in. They've got to just get stuff off. They have strategic food reserves that are like crazy because of this. That it wouldn't stop, like water reserves too, by the way. Like this is a thing. They know that these things are vulnerable. It's not about for the desal plants, oh, would they get blown up by a $50,000 fucking, or some, it also is, what if there's a fire? Like, you don't think that they've got these like systems in place as a thing? Like, I don't understand. The mentality he's got is so fucking crazy. Wait, is this a political channel now? Sometimes. Sometimes it is.
The Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into the American economy through the investments in the stock market. And right now, we know that the entire American economy is propped up by AI investments in data centers. And a lot of
No, I mean it's not. The GCC's investments globally, as far as I know, are maybe 4.5 trillion. I think. The U.S. market capitalization's 55 trillion. Like, that's not a thing. It's meaningful, but it's not like the linchpin. Qatar doesn't. It's a noted problem. Sure. Again, Qatar. Well, I think it's worth looking into. Again, the whole point of a lot of these systems that they have is, oh no, what if they get blown up by Iran? No, it's what if they like just have a power outage? What if something breaks and it takes 4 days? Are they going to die? Like, it's just such a weird, like I hate this.
that comes from the Gulf states. So
right now we're a political stream because I'm shitting specifically in his statements. We're going to watch his video and we'll be talking about how his logic fails and why he fundamentally doesn't have a leg to stand on. So we'll get there.
if the Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil, and they're no longer able to
Very
finance
kind of you, Tropical.
AI, this AI bubble in the United States, then this AI bubble will burst, and with it will burst as well as the entire American economy, which is really a financial Ponzi scheme.
Right.
So that's a dire situation that.
It's not. The American economy is not a Ponzi scheme. Like, what the fuck? Oh, hey, Lucy, right in. Yay, Lucy. I hope you're safe. Hope you're safe, Lucy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The reason I'm going against these things is everything he's stating, he's acting like, oh, if this happens, then it's pinball politics of like, this causes this, causes this, causes this, causes this. And that's not how these things work fundamentally. Like across any of this. This is not how any of this shit works. Like at all. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating.
The Americans are facing right now.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, sir, an Amazon data center was literally hit in the UAE. And now, of course, big tech companies, which were looking at the UAE as a major potential data center investment hub with cheap and abundant energy, probably going to be rethinking that. We also wanted to talk to you about munitions.
One sec. Sagar is...
The Ponzi scheme.
Sagar is like one step above Jang. I actually like Crystal. I think she has some bad calls in the past, but I actually kind of like, I actually like Crystal, like as a person. I think I actually like her. Sagar, I do not. Sagar is one step above this guy. And maybe a step below, because I think Zhang actually buys his own shit, and I think Sagar doesn't buy his own shit.
Right.
So that's a dire situation that the Americans are facing right now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, sir, an Amazon data center was literally hit in the UAE. And now, of course, big tech companies, which were looking at the UAE as a major potential data center investment hub with cheap and abundant energy, probably going to be rethinking that. We also want to
What
talk
does
to you
it even
about
mean?
missions. We can put this next one up here on the screen. The United States is racing to accomplish Iran mission before munitions run out. This is specifically around interceptor math. There's a famous video just from yesterday in Israel, which shows a single Iranian ballistic missile, which is being targeted by some 11 different interceptors, all of which miss. Most of those come from the United States, not to mention all of the different bases, the GCC countries that you just talked about, and the asymmetry of the cost. It's $1 million for a missile, tens of millions per interceptor in some of these cases. With these munitions running out, how does that change the global picture? So you're in China.
When you have that, and again, it is an interesting thing. It's not really 1 million versus 10 million. It's like 50,000 for like these like shit rockets. We went over this when they did the last one. There's like they have these crazy cheap drone swarms, and they do it. It's expensive overall, but each one is like nothing. The cost of keeping it up is incredibly expensive. But again, this is where you start talking about like how capitalism functions. Like, how do these people, like Sagar's even a fucking right winger. How do you not? Iran has the ability to pump out a lot of these things to a point. When we've destroyed their missile facilities and building facilities, which we did in June, it makes it harder for them to do these things cheaply. That's why they've been buying from Russia, as I understand it. Those can be cheap. They're not super cheap anymore. Those can be cheap. But again, interception, more expensive, not as expensive as not intercepting. And that's the thing where it's like, yeah, they cost $10 million a piece, but we have a $35 trillion GDP economy. That's not going to be the thing. This harkens to a very real thing, which is asymmetric warfare bleeds the bigger guy dry. This is what we did in Afghanistan against Russia the first time, against the USSR. We bled them dry very much. That was the goal. And then that's what Afghanistan did to us afterwards. It's a true story. Because it cost us trillions of dollars. It just was a sunk opportunity. This is like 2 to 3 weeks. And again, to say that these things like are to compare them when it's like the strikes killed the supreme leader, everyone who's next in line, the entire group who's choosing it, they kill thousands of people. 2,000 targets, I think they've hit. They've sunk in most of the Navy. You can say it's all expensive and a waste, but like, again, you have to contextualize it in what it's doing. You have to contextualize it what it's doing. And that's just frustrating.
Now, obviously, much of the stocks in Asia of the United States are likely to have to be cannibalized if this were to go on. How's that going to affect?
Do you know what's right next to Iran? Asia.
The global picture here?
Like, it's at the edge.
Right. So my first point is that the United States military is not designed to fight a 21st century war. Remember, the military-industrial complex came to be.
His son has already been selected as the next supreme leader. Really? Did they make that choice? I've been busy for the last couple hours. It's entirely possible. They did. They named... Oh, no. They named Khomeini too. That's great. Don't worry. He'll do something above ground next week. Ahmadinejad is alive. That made me actually... I don't know how anyone else feels about him. I have appreciated Ahmadinejad. He is a weirdly moderating force in that government, so I'm glad he's alive. He's a weirdly moderating force. But, like, I don't think that's going to last. The group that was supposed to do it died. There's no legal mechanism. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Grandson or son? Yeah, it's Khomeini's son, Mojtaba. I think that's how you pronounce it. Mojtaba. Named Iran's supreme leader this afternoon. That's great. Give it 2 days. I don't see that being. That's outside of Khomeini's son being named means it was done by political insiders inside of certain groups. Iran's interesting. If you haven't, Radio Wernerd, I would link to it, but it's a patron-only feed. They're worth it. It's like $1. Go in, listen to as much as you can. But they just released a emergency episode going over Iran, how their politics works, how they function, where they've been at, what they've been doing. It's absolutely brilliant and incredibly necessary to understanding, I think, especially from a Western perspective, how these things play and come together. Because I think there's a lot to be said about how that works and how it functions, especially here. Because if you have a position like this, where there is where these people were being voted on, there's no specific thing, there's no analysis, there's no openness to it. The challenge becomes that you have a really bad result that doesn't gel people together. Khomeini, when you're in a dictator position, and Trump's in this now, your job is to basically juggle the needs of everyone who has various powers within this. Khomeini's successor selections are secret. It was secret, except for the fact that we knew where it was and we blew it up. So, secret is one of those things. Like the comb, I think that's how you pronounce it. People knew where it was. They knew who's on the council. It's secret-ish, behind closed door stuff. But it's not secret oh, look, we have a new pope. It's not that same thing. There's more that happens. And again, the people involved in that are part of that underlying various political factions at war who are always trying to push and overtake each other. Maintaining that balance is how a dictator stays in power. Well, selections were seeking, now we're selected. I know, but I'm not seeing follow-up on this. I'm seeing that it was, I'm seeing Iran is saying that this is the case, but I'm not seeing this updated elsewhere, and the Wikipedia talk page is having internal anger about it for lack of sources. So, yeah, I'm seeing it's weird. Yeah, I'm going to wait on saying that, I'm sure he was in some capacity, but I wouldn't want to be chosen. The son being chosen is interesting. I don't know. We'll have to go through that at some point. Yeah, grain of salt on all that, because this is just rambling for that. We live in a very difficult time to understand if anything's actually true. I hate the internet. Do you remember? I used to go on Reddit or Twitter, and I'd see a weird fish. And I'd go, holy fuck. There are fish that look like that, and I would learn something. Do you remember that? Because that used to happen. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. It doesn't happen. It'll never happen to you again.
Being after World War II.
How valid do I think? I don't know Roy Casagrandes, but I do like his name. Let me find out who the fuck this is. Dr. Roy Casagrandes. He's fine. So he's fine. I kind of like him. I've seen him around. I know who the guy. He's interesting. It's not good. I haven't watched it heavily in years, so don't know.
Designed to fight the Cold War. And the Cold War was really about muscle flexing, about who was able to send people up into space, who was to first get the person on the moon, who had the more complex missile systems. And so the entire American
No. We see it as muscle flexing now, but that isn't what the Cold War was. There's a lot of books on this. It's actually, I mean, to be fair, he's only got a English literature degree. Why should I expect him to read? But it wasn't flexing. What it was a constant response to perceived and invented threats. Oh my God, they've got a nuke that can do this. We need something to respond to that, and vice versa. Very little was muscle flexing. It was muscle flexing to their own people in order to justify it. Like, that's what saber rattling is as a thing. But that's not it. That's not how this works. Roy is hyperbolic, but clearly knowledgeable and passionate. Oh, I'm okay with hyperbolic, if you haven't heard that.
Military strategy revolves around very sophisticated technology that costs a lot of money to build, and that's what the American air defense system is basically, and that's why we're seeing this.
I don't think the American air defense systems, like the SM-6, which is really interesting, is that $5 to $10 million a shot thing that they're talking about. We've got a bunch of them. There's like a bunch of really interesting shit for this.
Asymmetry, as you point out, in this war, where you have these $1 million missiles.
Hank Green said, we're fish. Just wait. I took that from him. That's in my upcoming video on basic bitch capitalism, where Elon Musk is the mola mola.
Trying to take out these $50,000 drones, and it's not sustainable in the long term. And so what we're seeing is really the puncturing.
If there was an infinite supply of 50, like, I hate this.
Of the aura of invincibility and inevitability that sustained American hegemony for the past 20 years, especially after the collapse of the Soviet Union. And this is really a reordering of not just the global economy, because this signals the collapse of the petrodollar, and with it, the entire US dollar-based reserve currency system.
This is Alex Jones adjacent. Do they not realize this when he says that shit?
But also the global hegemony of the United States. We're moving towards a multipolar world.
Professor, this morning, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was asked a question about potential ground troops in Iran. He refused to rule out that possibility. And he said, oh, well, we're not going to project to you what we will or will not do, but we don't want to, rule.
Oh, yeah. Tropical. He said that.
We're moving towards a multipolar world.
Professor, this morning, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth was asked a question about potential ground troops in Iran. He refused to rule out.
People aren't getting on Hegseth for not ruling out ground troops. This is like, once you're in a war, there are things that you just can't do once you're in a place. You shouldn't get in a war. Don't get in a war. Don't do this. This is all war crimes. Once you're there, you can't just say, oh yeah, no, they're going to be there Tuesday. We're sending them by truck. Like, you can't put it in. You can't rule it out. You want to leave all these things on the table, especially with a group that probably has a nuclear weapon. I would absolutely not. Like, this is one of the things where it's like, I get what they're doing there. I don't think it's good, but it's like, this is normal. And they're like, oh, geez.
Out that possibility. And he said, oh, well, we're not going to project to you what we will or will not do, but we don't want to, rule anything out. We will do what it takes. Do you think?
Hegseth wants to start Armageddon for sure. Yes, he. For those of you who didn't see on End Time was, and I appreciate Nick going over it. I'm not spending any time on it because of that. You can go check out his stream on End Time. You've seen him in here. Titan, I'm sure, will post a link. Pete Hegseth basically said, hey, if you really want to go to heaven, you'll die for us. Die for Trump, get your 40 virgins. And it was like, that's a thing. But Brooks, TikTok told me Iran is all mountains and being embargoed for so long as they can self-produce World War III drones and anti-venom missile forever. That is Look, Professor Zhang, I appreciate you stopping by, but I don't.
Think that America will end up invading Iran from the ground, since it's already becoming relatively clear they won't be able to accomplish the goal of regime change or even regime collapse using just air power alone.
We already know what is going to be the troops. We are probably not going to send troops there, not like we did in Iraq. We couldn't really do Kandahar and its mountains. And that's not against our troops. That's like the way a friend who I've had friends who've gone in and out of the military. I'm not having this discussion about ethics on that. The thing that sticks with people who've been around people who live in these spaces, like big mountainous, poorer regions, is they are like goddamn gazelle and rams. They are able to make it up a mountain, down a mountain without thinking about it. They live this. And we don't. Even people who live in mountains here don't live in mountains in this way. And so if we can't do Afghanistan like that, Iran is like, it's the difference between saying like, oh, it's mountainous like the Appalachians, and now we're going to go invade, I don't know, the middle of the fucking Rocky Mountains. It's not even comparable. There's no way we put people on the ground in significant numbers. Do you know who we do put? The Kurds. That's what we always do. We love the Kurds. The CIA loves the Kurds, and the Kurds love us. We give them big bags of money and a whole bunch of weapons, and they go do a thing. Because politics is complicated. So even if we abandon them, we already, they already announced, the Kurds announced that they're already working with the US and the CIA, and they're going into Iran. That's our ground force.
Right. So everyone says that the worst calamity that could happen in the United States is if it were to send ground troops into Iran.
I mean, I don't think that's how people phrase it. Usually people would phrase it as one of the worst things they could do in Iran. Probably not the worst calamity, though.
At the same time, the United States are committed to
going into their already... Well, if you believe that the Kurds don't have a right to their land, then yes, they're already in Iran. If you don't think of it that way. I try to generally think of the Kurds as having their own space because it's like a fiefdom war position. It's a very unique engagement they have with the state apparatus. It's really worth looking into. But I know what you're saying, and you are correct. They are already technically there.
Regime change in Iran. We've never had...
You are a pedant. So am I. I appreciate a pedant.
A precedent in history where you were able to regime change from the air alone. You need ground troops. And so unfortunately, what's going to happen over the next few months is that pressure will build on America to send ground troops, especially from the GCC countries and from Israel, which are being pounded right now by the Iranians. So remember that if the GCC countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, if they go, then the petrodollar goes with them. So the Americans need to protect these countries, and these countries are going to demand that either the...
One sec, I have to fix the thing. I hate so much of this. Like, it's just hard for me to deal with. See, now that's blown out again. What the fuck? There.
Americans bribed the Iranians to seize, and this is like $5 trillion in indemnity, okay? Mm-hmm. Or send ground troops to wipe out the Iranian threat once and for all. And I know that there's no political will for ground troops to be used against Iran among the American people. But remember that 78% of American people was against initial strikes against Iran in the first place.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll just say Trump's numbers ain't doing too well. If you ever want to understand, like, hey, and I know you kids don't remember. Man, everyone wanted to do fucking Afghanistan and Iraq. It is hard to even convey how different it feels to be alive now versus 20 years ago, 24 years ago, 23 years ago. People right now, the common sense, and I mean that, it's a fucking weird statement. The common sense take is we shouldn't be invading Iran. The common sense take then was, why the fuck aren't we already in Iraq? Like, it is a polarity shift in an extraordinary way. Like, for those of you who remember, it was fucking insane. Everyone was dying for like the blood of Afghani children and Iraqi soldiers, and people cheered for it the way that people cheer at the fucking end of Marvel movies. It was absolutely fucking nuts. And yet, here we are, the least popular president we've ever had who, you know, fucks kids. I mean, allegedly rapes kids. Many kids. That's what he does. He fucks them. He rapes them. That thing, and this war is so unpopular, even with his own base. I'm going to see if I can find a clip. I was watching, I occasionally watch Alex Jones because I think it's worthwhile. And there's a horrifying human being he has on his latest thing. And I was like, I have to see this. I have to share this with you. This is a thing. This is actually, I think, I'm going to zoom in so that way we don't see anything else because I don't know what else is on X. So this is, these, it's a great pause frame. These people are insane. Both of them. Alex Jones is a lunatic. Nick Fuentes is a lunatic. But they're not towing the line. Now, Nick Fuentes isn't because he's anything Israel is, he's against it. No, none of these guys are doing well lately, but this is interesting to me because, again, just hear how they're talking about it.
By its own doing. And so this is horrifying. And so, but I can't sign on to covering up Epstein. I can't sign on to World War III. And so that's why I tried to promote the optimism, because I fucking need this, man. Like, I want to fix the country. I want to turn it around. So it's not that I was delusional. And I still hope we can turn it around, but I just, sorry, go ahead. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. And listen, like I said, I don't think that everybody that supported Trump was being dismissive about these concerns. I get it. You know, we all wanted to believe. I was 18 years old when Trump ran in 2016. And I remember getting in fights with people. This is my whole life too. At 18 years old, I wore the MAGA hat at Boston University, one of the most liberal campuses in the country, and became a pariah on my.
You can suggest, Pashy, brain rot of this caliber if it's relevant to the political discussion, because this is. My point is that where we were then, Iraq and Afghanistan, Dennis Kucinich was on board, and like very few people were not. Now, very few people are on board, and we're still doing it.
Sad to see something you sacrificed. It's sad to see something you fought and bled for die.
Yeah, and
Yep, it was Bernie and there was one other. It was very rare, and I'll never forget. Like, I went to a anti-Iraq protest, and there was like 20 people, and the counter protesters had like hundreds.
That's my whole adult life. I know that's.
What does Alex Jones sound like that? He has RFK Jr. in his throat.
And one of the things that really comes into question.
I don't know if you've seen the Kid Rock RFK video, but that was right before they both blew Alex Jones. And then Alex Jones blew them, and we're seeing RFK Jr. in his throat.
I think with all of this, sir, when we're looking at the geopolitical.
Clinton voted for Iraq. Everyone voted for Iraq. Like, again, it is hard to convey how opposite we are now. It is absolutely hard to convey.
Picture and the sacrificing in much of this from the United States on behalf of Israel is kind of a question as to who and what wanted this. We were actually curious for your view on a disputed report here from the Washington Post. We can put it up here on the screen, F3. A push from the Saudis. Israel helped move Trump to attack Iran. Now, this has been internally disputed by Saudi Arabia, saying that they did not push the Trump administration.
They really don't want people thinking. Saudi Arabia would really not want people having this conversation about them. Like, MBS does not want to be seen as this, but that's hilarious.
To attack Iran. However, this is clearly an authorized leak from our own government trying to at least lay some of the blame on behalf of the GCC.
We're mentioning how Valerie Plame. Fuck me. I forgot. Dude, there's so many stories. A reporter did a story about the Iraq War and its justifications and how it was bullshit, which it was, by the way. It was all lies, because it always is. So Dick Cheney and his aide outed his wife as a CIA asset in order to discredit him. Fucking... That was crazy. He was a congressman? Ah, fuck. I thought he was a reporter. My brain. Wait. Yeah, no, he was a congressman. Was he congressman? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Like they outed a CIA agent to do it, and then they pardoned the fucking guy afterwards. Valerie Plame. Let's find out. Let's learn about Valerie Plame. Leaked and subsequently published by Novak of the Washington Post. Oh, look, it's the Washington Post. She describes a period, blah, blah. Let's find out what it was. Plamegate, 2003, July 14th. Oh, that's my 23rd birthday. Robert Novak, a journalist for the Washington Post. He was a journalist. Used information obtained from Armitage, Rove, and Libby to reveal Plame's identity to the CIA in his column. He outed her. Legal documents published in the source of this, blah, 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 established her classified employment as a covert officer. Jesus Christ. They did that to just completely fuck her husband. It's so fucking, what a fucking shit world. That was Joe Wilson, right? Let's see, Joe Wilson. Dope. He was a diplomat. We're both wrong. He was a diplomat. He leaked the Bush-Cheney administration information pertaining to the identity of his wife, blah, blah. He's the one who said, I didn't find in Africa. It was his New York Times op-ed piece. I'm close enough. That's close enough. I'm going to say he was a journalist. Joseph Wilson, what I didn't find in Africa. That was the piece that did it. He said, I didn't find any yellow cake uranium. It's all bullshit. So he was a diplomat writing a piece. That's why I thought he was a journalist. Fair. Learning things. What's up, Dexy? What are you playing? I don't know. You're not playing anything yet? Are you going to do Frog Detective? You should totally do Frog Detective. Because it's awesome.
What do you make of this analysis and of this narrative that Saudi Arabia was also trying to be behind this push to bomb Iran?
So I've always argued that both Saudi Arabia and Israel are heavily invested in regime change in Iran. Yeah. In fact, Saudi Arabia sees Iran as much more of an existential crisis than Israel. Because remember, Israel still has nuclear weapons, and Israel is a very diverse, very sophisticated economy, whereas Saudi Arabia is completely reliant on oil. Mm-hmm. And it's always had problems with Iran because Iran is a theocracy opposed to the Saudi monarchy. Iran funds.
That's the worst read on. That's like saying Osama bin Laden did what he did because he hated our freedom. That's not, they don't hate monarchy because they're a theocracy. Wait, is this the guy who has a YouTube channel with an empty closet? It is. He's on Breaking Points. That's why I can't help but go, why? I want to go on Breaking Points now. Why can't I go? I don't. I have an empty class. I have a kid in my room. I at least have someone who's technically a student in the room when I talk. So I'm at least one above him. Jesus Christ. But this is stupid.
Whereas Saudi Arabia is completely reliant on oil.
This is true. Israel has an incredibly diverse economy. The line in Saudi Arabia is the same line. I was told it's a very famous line that they use in a lot of those Arabian Gulf countries. My grandfather came to the city on a camel. My father drove a Mercedes-Benz. I drive a Rolls-Royce. My son will drive a Lamborghini. His son will leave the city on a camel. They very much are aware of like their precarity, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting. But the reason Saudi Arabia and Iran get along is actually not from the monarchy. It's from the Shia Sunni breaks in all of these things and how these various religious groups sort of handle each other. It's one of the reasons like Saddam was the guy we liked for a while because he was Ba'athist, which is like sort of semi-Shia. I don't know all of the different versions. I just know light versions, but it would be like saying, look, Ireland, you know why they're so mad at Britain? It's because Britain has a king. It's like, no, there's a lot of other shit there. A lot. Like, you want to learn about Wahhabism. Yeah, and Kissinger absolutely empowered Wahhabis. Yeah, completely. It's insane. I probably wouldn't be let on because my theory is more or less accurate. I need to learn to say really dumb, loud shit and then get on there and go, Sagar, are you embarrassed to be a person? Like, that would be like the first thing. Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed that like you're an adult and this is the tie you chose? This is the tie that a parent gives a child who's in their like first year of freshman debate. That's not colors that you choose. That doesn't do anything. These are not colors that go well together as a thing. You don't do that in a gray suit. You need to have a different color. Like it's a bad drip tech. God, that's awful.
And it's always had problems with Iran because Iran is a theocracy opposed to the Saudi monarchy.
Which is stupid.
Iran funds and equips the Houthis, which have been antagonistic towards Saudi Arabia for the longest time. And right now, the Saudi economy is suffering. It's been trying to pivot towards more of a tourist economy. That's why they brought in Ronaldo. That's why they're switching to e-gaming. That's why they're building something called a line, NEOM.
They are not building it anymore. Just so Jang knows, they fucking canceled that because it was a huge money laundering operation to get money out of Saudi Arabia and into the hands of various people who are influential within the government. Because that's what it always was, because they were never going to build a line. Fucking Christ, I hate this so much. It's wild. But to not start with religious ideology in this, because one of the reasons that these countries exist as they do is the breaks in their religions. And the breaks in their religions, to be very fair, they're not exactly the same as like Protestant, Catholic and shit. I kind of oversimplify there, but it isn't drastically different from how it comes about. When we talk about Ireland versus, Britain versus UK versus, any of their stupid little small countries of that silly place. Scotland and Ireland are the only real countries there anyway. That thing, where are those lines? Well, those lines are arbitrary bullshit things that were placed there mostly because of those religious divisions. Like the Irish and the Scottish weren't seen as human because they weren't the right religion, the right setup as a thing. Well, those people who did that are the same people who drew mostly these lines and backed certain groups over others. And the thing Iran had with this massive Shia uprising, and someone can correct me on any of this. I may get the words mixed because this is not my jam, but the Ayatollah and his backing, I believe, were Shia. And they were this crazy revivalist Shia thing that he was playing with. Again, the Shia have a rich everything, but Wahhabism was the response in Saudi Arabia to that. I believe. Now, again, both of them are exploiting the sort of pre-religious tensions that have existed over time. So I'm not saying this is it. These things are using more complex elements. They're using more historical, political things, but the timing of this, the way the hegemony works, the way that they sort of play in the proxy wars between them, and very much how the way that, for example, OPEC creates rivals inside of this horrifying system that puts Iran at a disadvantage flatly at a disadvantage, and Saudi Arabia ultimately being the one who manipulates the market in their own side, and we back one of those. This is the complexity nightmare that we're talking about. Mean Welsh? No, that's a grape juice. Being mean to British people is fun.
And all these things are not working out. So they need to be able to
Welsh is grape juice. Have you not seen it?
control the oil resources of the entire Middle East if they are to survive and thrive as a nation. So I do believe that this reporting is credible, even though it does make Saudi Arabia look bad. But remember, Saudi Arabia says that they wanted peace, but they are helping the Israelis and the Americans attack Iran right now because they're allowing the Israelis and Americans to use Saudi airspace.
So help us understand, because it still feels to me like there's some pieces that don't totally add up. You had, in advance of this war on Iran, you had top military brass up to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying, this is a really bad idea. We are not ready for this. All the math on the interceptors that's been talked about for months at this point. And yet Trump still decided to go ahead. What is the calculus that he was making here that led him to take what already appears to be catastrophic actions?
YouTube channel, that's how I honestly thought. I was like, Dozy Doze? I don't. And Little Lamsey Divey.
Right, okay. So this is the key question. Why do they do this? I think there are three possibilities, okay? And I think all three possibilities are valid. The first is that
what Wahhabism is depends on how people have used and weaponized it. That's this. The power structures in the Middle East are so utterly fascinating unto themselves, and an entire Geostosi, who Sunday and I have recommended multiple times, who basically paints an amazing picture of how extremism works in the Middle East, goes through this as well. He has a book called Coercion that I just cannot recommend enough. It's, as far as I know, the only real critical text that's historical on how coercion works in statecraft between nations and in nation states and warlords and all, like how coercion functions politically. And it goes through all this, and it's absolutely amazing.
Of hubris. You look at history, this is how empires behave. So the Mindoro kidnapping was quick, successful.
So don't look at history to say this is how empires behave, because you can say this is how almost every country behaves. Countries do what they're able to do and as far as they can do it. All of them. That's what states do. I don't, it's stupid.
And it was a general, you look at history, this is how empires behave. So the Mindoro kidnapping was quick, successful, and it was adrenaline rush for Trump. And that made him overconfident.
Not sure it was an adrenaline rush for Trump. I don't even know if he's certain it happened. What it was is a horrifying, like I talked about. I mean, I agree generally with what he's saying here. The idea that this emboldened his group. If it had gone horrifyingly, and that sounds awful, if it had gone really bad, that almost would be a preferable outcome, because it wouldn't give him sort of the, hey, we just do it again and again and again. You think Cuba's not next? Like, for real. Jen gets all his facts from YouTube videos. He gets all of his facts from his own YouTube videos, which is a weird recursive loop. I recommend not doing that.
Confident in the capacity of the American military. Okay, so hubris is a factor, and we see this throughout history. Why did Hitler invade Stalin? Because he conquered Europe really easily, and he thought it was invincible, right? And that led to the destruction of the German army.
I mean, again, that's the joke that everyone makes, the Eddie Izzard joke. Hitler clearly never played Risk as a child is the joke. It wasn't hubris explicitly. Hitler had to expand. This is one of the things that, like, again, the material realities of World War II and what drove the Nazis to do what they're doing. This isn't great man theory. He's doing great man theory. That's not how it works. Great man theory is not a thing. Hitler didn't go, all right, it's been great so far. What's the next thing? He was expanding everywhere because they had no meaningful economy, and he had to. The war effort was what was keeping Germans fed for the most part. Also killing Jews and taking their money and teeth, and also, gypsies, Romas, homosexuals, undesirables, communists, everyone, basically. But they needed more people. And so they went, all right. They knew there was a threat coming that way. They tried to invade America, for fuck's sake. That's not how this works. They don't just go, yes, we will do the next. It's no, and if you go, they planned. They're shitty. They are shitty strategists. The Nazis were not very good at what they were doing. They just had a lot of meth and enough money, and people didn't really stop them early enough when they could have.
In the Soviet Union. So hubris is a factor. Then you have to look at internal political calculus, where even though America does not benefit from this war against Iran, Trump himself personally benefits.
How the fuck does the U.S. not benefit from this? I actually, if they don't push back on that, I can name a dozen ways. Let's do it. Okay. By eliminating the regime in Iran and reopening the oil, we shift how OPEC functions, and we create a separate hegemony underneath MBS and Saudi Arabia as the master of OPEC, and further put pressure on Russia and China, who are the main allies here, to remove power from their side and extend it our side. Again, I'm not saying this is a good thing, just it's a fucking bonus for America as far as the way that Trump wants to do stuff. The Iran and its funding of many things that the U.S. hegemony hates. I think Hamas as an example. Lebanon. Israel's invading Lebanon at the same time, and that's not a fucking accident. Lindsey Graham. Did you see Lindsey Graham? This was fucking nuts. This is where we're at, mental illness levels across the board for everything. Lindsey Graham today. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? There's this weird pleading moment. There it is.
Trump today.
Yep. This one's it. Thank you, Aaron Rupar. You occasionally do the right thing. So, this is Lindsey Graham. I'm not saying he doesn't suck. Again, Lindsey Graham super sucks. But he super sucks in a way that's so visible and transparent, it's embarrassing. Enjoy this.
I'm calling on President Trump today. Join Israel to attack Hezbollah. Avenge the Marines. America never forgets.
Avenge the Marines. From 48 years ago?
Those 220 Marines and 18 sailors' families, we want to go after the infrastructure that killed your loved ones. Their IRGC assets in Beirut as I speak. President Trump, come up with a new operation called Simplify. Fly with Israel and go after Hezbollah, who has American blood on its hands. Not only take the mothership of Iran down, also take the proxy of Hezbollah, settle the score, even the account.
That's insane. But again, he's saying, oh, there's no interest in the United States. Literally, are you not seeing everyone talk about all the interests of this? I'm saying it sucks, but Jesus Christ. Or Mullen, I actually want to play one clip. I don't like usually military people. I sent Nick, I don't know if Nick played it on the other stream, but we're going to watch it again because I can't help it. I was laughing so hard watching it. I was like, this is fucking great.
It's not
because there's this weird thing happening where it's just so surreal. To go back in time again, thank you for your service, is basically I'm not a fan of this. But it's been very normalized, especially in right-wing circles. but the performativity of it is so fucking funny. It's so funny. So when it gets so bad that a general basically says, stop being a fucking weirdo, it makes my day.
100% clear to me, General, and that's not to suggest that I don't support 100% what is happening, nor that I 100% offer my support. I just think I want to ask a couple of critical questions, and I hope you know how much respect I have for your service. And I think it goes without saying to anybody watching how much respect I have for the men making this decision.
You don't have to patronize me. Just ask the question.
That made my, I don't know. That makes my day. It's like, shut the fuck up and just ask the question. Get off my nuts. What the fuck are you doing? I just love, like, so good.
Well, it's not
I could watch it a
clear
million
to me,
times.
General, and that's not to suggest that I don't.
Because this Fox is trying to walk this line, and it's fucky for them. Their base doesn't support the troops. Just so you know, their base does not support the troops. Their base supports the troops in like particular context. But that context has always been patriotism. Now that context is going away. So he's got to, I have to do something that questions the troops. I have to overly perform the other, like he doesn't want to lose people. It's the funniest shit.
100% what is happening, nor that I 100% offer my support. I just think I want to ask a couple of critical questions, and I hope you know how much respect I have for your service. And I think it goes without saying.
I'll let it play because his response is the most pathetic thing.
To anybody watching how much respect I have for the men making this decision.
You don't have to patronize me. Just ask the question. Go ahead. Come on, ask it.
To be clear, General, I'm not patronizing you. I'm trying to have a very serious conversation in front of the American people. The men making these decisions have my utmost respect. This is less about you than everybody making these decisions. And this is about the American people understanding the investment that lies before them.
I adore it. I really liked it. I know the general, that's Will Kane. No, General Jack Keane. Will Kane is this guy. General Jack Keane. You don't have to patronize me. Just ask the question. Go ahead. Come on, ask it. I fucking love it. I love it. Like, General, just while I'm talking to you, I'm just going to be putting your balls in my mouth just for a moment. And I just want you to know they're going to be in. And I'm just going to do this for a minute before I ask you a question. It's awful. These people are pathetic. I love it. I adore it. Oh, yeah. I forgot. We're watching Pathetic.
Why? Because the Saudis and Israelis are bribing him to attack Iran. Remember that the Saudis invested $2 billion in the private equity fund of Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of Donald Trump. And the Israelis, through Miriam Adelson, have been financing Trump's political career, right? So Miriam Adelson, a few months back, said that she will put up $250 million if Trump were to run a third term. So Trump is getting a lot of financial and political support from the Saudis and Israelis. Also remember that this is true. If this war goes sideways and Trump is forced to use ground troops, he will probably get approval from Congress, and this will give him emergency war powers, which will allow him to influence the midterms. So Trump is thinking about a third term. And I think at the ballot box, he probably won't get it. But if there's a war going on and you can delay elections and you have
That's not a thing we do, by the way.
emergency war powers and people rally around the flag, then he probably will get a third term.
We continue solar reading and analysis of AO. I'll probably do another set of readings this week. And I need to get the podcast out there. That's time. I need more time. Do you have an extra day of the week you could loan me? That'd be great. My new essay series, I finally got the partial objects thing kind of, I think, functional as I like it. So it's about like 2 weeks with a week off. It's kind of the setup. And I've already got all of it front loaded. The entire thing is already on YouTube and waiting, and I'm just basically stanching out. So that way I have time to work. It's been my goal, basically. No, you're good. I'm mostly being facetious about the extra day. Although if you are Kronos, Lord of Time.
And the last factor that is very important is the eschatological factor, where
Jesus Christ, dude.
The Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear.
That's not true. Like, the idea that we're run by secret societies is stupid still. And look, Epstein did not reveal anything we didn't already know. What we didn't know is that all of these very rich people also are pedos. We kind of knew that. Like there's no one who went, wow, really? No, but it's not secret societies. Like they're just rich people, and they're rich people who can do anything they want, and we don't stop them. For now.
That the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of...
He ascribes to the great man theory in history, and so lo and behold, the Epstein files give him a great man of modern times. That's it.
Power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people, they're different names.
Hey, sweetheart. What are you up to? Yeah, that's Dottie Dot. Yes, Dexter. I'm glad you're enjoying Goat Simulator 3, Dexter.
Names for these people.
You want to watch something? 1 second, I have to turn. All right. What do you want to watch? Off the air? Yeah. It's my daughter. She's 3. Loves Off the Air from Adult Swim. It's awesome. I'm not showing up in chat. So, for those of you who don't know, a lot of people don't know, YouTube has a weird pre-block. I have nothing. I need to move so that way it's actually like, I don't have anything blocking. See, it's seeing. One second. Yeah, we'll go there. Yeah, you gotta sit back. Sit back, sweetheart. That is me. Oh, look, it's off the air. All right. I'm sorry. All right, let's see what happens. One sec, sorry, everyone. So goodbye. Good. Okay. Adult Swim's Off the Air is amazing. YouTube has bans on, like, I get all the time. I'll write something in time or someone else's stream, and it won't show up. So, sorry. I have no blocks. I don't do that. You literally can see that you can see me literally hovering over my YouTube chat. So you see stuff as I block it. So
people, you can call them Illuminati.
My voice sounds weird on the speaker. 1 sec. YouTube channel. I cannot find my headphones. Brooks's voice sounds weird on the speaker, loud and quiet at the same time. LOL.
And the Illuminati are composed of 3.
I'm sorry, I didn't watch all of this. I watched the first 2 minutes. What happened? What happened here? What in the fuck is going on? I love it.
You probably won't get it. But if there's a war going on and you can delay elections and you have...
Okay, just because I don't want to interrupt him because I think I'm just going to this is foreplay for me. I'm just going to let it happen. Okay. But before I get to my foreplay where I get to really enjoy, and it's mostly sexual, there's nothing in the Epstein files that shows that there is anything like the Illuminati in any capacity, or 7 Jews in a cave that control Israel, or any of that shit. It doesn't exist. There is and was a real network of sexual exploitation that touched into the powerful and rich in huge ways. To call that the Illuminati in any capacity shows that he's a fucking lunatic. He's a lunatic.
Have emergency war powers and people rally around the flag, then he probably will get a 3rd term. And the last factor that is very important. It's an eschatological factor where, if you look at the Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear that the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people...
We know who they are, by the way. Like, does he think we don't... Are there names in the Epstein files we've never seen before? Is that like... Holy Lord, Dark Longadus, Bedongadus is in these files. I've never heard that name before. Can we look him up? He's the guy. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? This autofocus is not picking me up today. One sec. Bye. Sit and watch. Don't heckle your brother. Can you not heckle Dexter for a minute? Please? Is that okay? You want me to come here real quick? You want a hug? No? You're okay? You're okay? You're going to be a little whiny? All right.
People, there are different names for these people. You can call them the Illuminati. And the Illuminati are composed of three major groups, okay? You have the
I just like... Fucking, what the fuck is happening? That's amazing. Oh, I'm out of focus again. God damn it. Come on, pick me up. There we go.
Jesuits, who control the Vatican.
There it goes again. One sec. I gotta fix this. One second, everybody. No, everyone's fine. We're watching some fucking moron. It's a whole thing. It's fucking horrifying. It is Syriac. Kids love Syriac. It's great. And it's skiing ostriches now. If you haven't watched Off the Air, Adult Swim had maybe the best. I still think they have some of the best things that have ever been made for television. Off the Air was a 15-minute block that they'd run kind of randomly, sort of into the night. And it was always like just videos that the guys who run Adult Swim liked. And they just slammed them together. And it was fucking amazing. Off the Air was the best. I was in the unenviable position of being for the war, but against the truth. Oh, shit.
Vatican. You have the Septine Frankists, which control the modern state of Israel today. And you have the Freemasons, which control the national security apparatus of the United States. And they believe...
This is... How did they platform this? I didn't know he was going to do this. Right? Like, here's the thing. This has as much grounding as all of his videos. Right? This is as grounded as everything else. And that's incredible. But this, at this point, like it's at the end. So maybe they went, oh, shit.
That Israel, this war in the Middle East, is key to the end times in creating heaven on earth. So it's like a script that they're following, even though it doesn't make any geopolitical sense. Okay, so I would say that these three are the best reasons why this is happening.
Wow. Well, sir, I hope you come back. This was very...
Really, it's been just great. Really hope you come back here. Fuck. And a producer got fired.
Informative, I think, for both of us. We deeply appreciate your time.
This has 3.4 million views. You guys are pieces of shit. Like, if you're spreading this and you don't push back on that, you're bad. You're a net negative. So when I say that the internet is bad and has only hurt people, there's good, sure. This is a net negative. They platformed him. They gave him room. He spouted only nonsense. And then he ended with anti-Semitic psychotic conspiracy theories.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a...
No one liked that video. Oh, wait. A lot of people did. Bro went scorched earth at the end, calling out the Illuminati. Bro came, bro cooked, bro left. Remember, Professor's not suicidal. Professor, give me those lottery numbers. Bro really hit us up. They have many names. Jesus Christ. This makes me so angry. One sec. My daughter's very sweet. She turned 4 3 days ago. And it has been adorable watching her be a big girl. That's her thing right now. She's very much a big girl now. Don't say otherwise. Why would you say otherwise? That was awful. Not as awful as...
And we are now in the 4th day of this war. And we can expect this war.
This went up at the same time. March 3rd, which is today. So, today, 4.5 million. Yep. 4.5 million-ish people have watched this person in one of these two videos.
War to last for many weeks, possibly also for many years. But I promise you that after this war is done, the world will never be the same again. So what we will do these next few weeks is use game theory and understand and analyze the geopolitical situation. And so I'm going to teach you the ideas, the theories, the techniques to understand the world around you and make predictions. And we can know if our analysis is correct because all this is happening in real time, and so we can test it against reality. All right, so let's go over some basic facts about what's happened so far. So in the early morning of Saturday in Tehran, the Israelis and Americans launched...
He doesn't know how to talk very well, and I'm sorry I laugh at it. He has an empty room. Oh, Tropical. If you haven't been familiar, let me introduce, I should introduce everyone to predictive history. So let's go to some of his older videos where he really pretended to have I love this. This guy, he pretends to have a audience.
So good morning. We have 3 more classes.
And there's nothing I adore this.
We have 3 more classes.
He looks around like there's people. You can see in the reflection of the screen there isn't. There's others where it's more clear. But his earlier videos were really funny.
Okay, good morning. So welcome to the first class of the second semester. This semester...
There's no one in there. What is this shit? What this shit is 1.5 million subscribers.
We are going to build on what we've learned the first semester to better understand human history and to better understand what's happening in the world today. And also to be able to predict the future. Okay, so if you have been following current events, and I hope you have, there are now 3 major conflicts.
This is how all of his videos go. It's the same thing. This is within the last year too. I'm not even going crazy far back. Here he is 2 years ago, supposedly with students. He's a fucking crackpot. Standard game theorist. We should take a second and go through his game theory shit because it's really fucking terrible.
This semester, we are going to analyze a question together.
There's no one in his class. I've listened. There's no people talking. There's no coughs. There's no hums. There's no scuffing of feet. It's great.
Which is, how do societies behave? Why do we do what we do? What motivates us? What drives us? And there have been different theories as to what drives human behavior. Okay, so let's go over some theories. The first theory comes to us from religion. And the idea is
I'm going to be very honest. I'm jealous of the fucking screen. I'm a big whiteboard guy. Big whiteboard guy. I'm jealous of the screen. That's fucking awesome.
Is that we are all driven in a war between good and evil.
Oh God, I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot how bad he is. He's so unassuming, and his personality and content are so empty. I have forgotten how absolutely insane he is. Like he's pointless. He's pointlessly out of his fucking mind. Right? Like he's a fucking lunatic. This is insane. He has to know this is silly. You've never met someone who does this and believes this shit. These people are out there.
There's a good side to us, and there is
no one let him in front of a camera. His earlier videos, and it's like he went through when he cleaned his videos out, because he had more before that. There's like they straight up. He used to just have a laptop. But my favorite videos, like the one I showed here, is where you can see that the desks are empty. Like I don't know if you can, let me see if I can, actually, you know what would be good here is if I remove the SDR content and I make it reset. One sec. No, that didn't do it. Shit. One sec. I don't know if you can see it very cleanly here. But you can see, one sec. One sec. Let's see. Okay. We're going to fix this up. I want you to be able to see this because it's one of my favorite things about his videos. Oh, that's weird. It's not letting me actually affect the video at all. What the fuck? Let me see what happens if I... Oh, yeah, there we go. It is there. One sec. I have to reset the fucking thing. I probably scared someone really badly. Okay. One sec. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, you can actually, I think you might be able to see now. You can actually like look through and see that there are desks. Well, you can't still. I'll just post the link. You can look at it yourself. The link is insane because you can see that the desks are there. And as he's like,
its empire.
as he goes through it, like
so
you can see that there's desks
became the official
that he's, I didn't have it fully visible. That's why I am a terrible streamer. You can see the desks
religion of the Roman Empire. Okay? So remember, like,
and there's no one there. It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing because he's talking about it and he like looks over there, but like it's It's clearly sunrise. It's one of my favorite videos of his.
Then there'll be an antichrist, okay, Satan, who will be the great deceiver.
But he always looks over there like there's
most Christians.
There's nobody. I love this. It's like a beautiful mind. It's the opposite of a beautiful mind while being the same thing. I just adore this fucking dude. Oh, God. These fucking people. There's Jang. There's Game Theory.
Launched a decapitation strike against the Ayatollah Khamenei, who is the supreme leader of Iran. Now, there are arguments in the dispute.
All right, we're going to go back because I just needed to remind everyone how much of a crackhead he is. It's a fucking pretty huge fucking crackhead. He's out of his fucking skull, to be very frank.
Time, and so we can test it against reality. All right, so let's go over some basic facts about what's happened so far. So,
I can't wait for him to get things wrong.
In the early morning of Saturday, in Tehran, the Israelis and Americans launched a decapitation strike against the Ayatollah Khamenei, who is the supreme leader of Iran. Now, there are arguments and disputes about as to what happened. The Americans and Israelis said that they had real intelligence about where the leader was, and so they sent airplanes to just bomb the crap out of the place. They also had a spy who was able to record the body of the dead Ayatollah.
I need to make sure I adjust the title of the stream so people. There.
And then this was announced. At first, the Iranians denied this, and the Iranians insisted he was still alive. But eventually, state media admitted that he did die in the airstrike. But then what they also...
Again, statecraft's funny like this. Language is funny. I don't think the Iranians denied. One, I don't think they made a lot of statements early on, but the idea they knew, or that there was clear knowledge and perfect knowledge everywhere. Anytime someone like makes the assumption that like someone has perfect knowledge, you kind of need to sort of step back and go, oh, maybe this guy knows. But if that's the worst he does, it won't be.
Also said is that the Ayatollah, he's 86 years old, and he chose to die. He could have gone to Moscow, but instead he chose to stay.
Wait, what? No. What?
Ayatollah. And then this was announced. At first, the Iranians denied this, and the Iranians insisted he was still alive. But eventually, state media admitted that he did die in the airstrike. But then what they also said is that the Ayatollah, he's 86 years old, and he chose to die. He could have gone to Moscow, but instead he...
I haven't seen this reporting. First off, I haven't seen this reporting, even from Iranian sources, or that they're saying, oh, he made the choice to become a martyr. And if they are lying. Like they're telling a story after the fact. I mean, I can't imagine. I don't know. I mean, MS has it right. He chose to die with his daughter, grandchildren, and 50 or so high-ups of his government. I don't think this works.
He chose to stay in Tehran.
Your only issue with his manner of speaking is that he pronounces the same words in different ways. My issue, I mean, he doesn't have a standard anything. Like, You'll hear him say Ayatollah, Atola, Notola, Batola. He doesn't pronounce things. And I know you're being kind. My issue with his manner of speaking is that he is a fucking moron, loser, psychotic who doesn't understand the things he talks about. He went on Breaking Points and said that this was the Illuminati and the Jews. So I'm not sure I need to be kind to this.
And die for his people. But not only that, but he died along many of his relatives. He died along with his daughter, his son-in-law, his grandchildren. So many of the family died in this assault.
So he chose that. He chose to have his entire family die next to him. I also don't believe that this is being reported. I believe there may be someone saying this, but I don't think this is like the official line, as far as I know.
Reporting that he had prostate cancer. Okay, so he was going to die.
He's claiming that they claimed that for Landia. So is the claim now, well, I mean, I don't know what he's claiming. A moment ago, that's what he was claiming. Now it sounds like he's claiming that the Ayatollah knew he was dying from something else and decided to die this way.
Fairly soon as well. So what you need to understand first about the war is that even though the Americans and Israelis claim great success in decapitating the leadership of the Iranians, from the Iranian perspective, this is a martyrdom, okay? And
I'm sorry, a martyrdom sounds cooler. You should totally do more martyrdom.
So the religion of the Iranians is called Shia Muslim. And this is different from Sunni Muslim. So Sunnis are the majority. They're about 9% of all Muslims in the world. The Shia have always been the minority. And as such, they've always been persecuted. So
Whoa. Sorry, wait. We're going back just for a second. My brain needs a second on that one. This is new to me. Someone saying that. I've never heard anyone say this claim.
The Iranians, from the Iranian perspective, this is a martyrdom, okay? And so the religion of the Iranians is called Shia Muslim. And this is different from Sunni Muslim. So Sunnis are the majority. They're about 9% of all Muslims in the world.
Yeah. It sounds funny because he said it weird. Sunnis are 90% of the world's almost 2 billion Muslims. I thought he said 9%, and I was like, no, the Sunnis are the vast majority of Muslims. Okay. It was me. I misheard him. That's me. It's fine.
The Shia have always been the minority. And as such, they've always been persecuted.
Very true.
In the Shia faith, the core value, the force that binds everyone together and gives them purpose and meaning in life, that galvanizes them into action, is the idea of martyrdom, which forces jihad. To sacrifice yourself for.
The language here is going to be very problematic. When we talk about jihad is struggles and battles. And this is not me minimizing, it's Islamic Jihad. Islamic Jihad wants to kill a bunch of people. But jihad and martyrdom doesn't mean dying in battle. Like as a thing. Right? It's different than what he's talking about here. Again, not an expert on this. I spent a year or two working with a bunch of people from Iran and Syria and Muslims of all faiths, and I got to learn enough on the ground. A friend of a friend was doing an amazing project. There's an entire sect of like absolutely crazily wonderful Muslims who like do weird shit. It's really fun, really fascinating. It's like I don't know. It's what the black church is to like white Catholic church. It's like really fun, cool shit in the Muslim faith. Like there's a lot of different sects. They're very different, but the idea of jihad, the idea of martyrdom, it doesn't mean it like he's implying here. It can. Yeah, it's Sufis. Thank you. It's more fun. Sufi shit is more fun. It's fun. I just think it's more fun. But martyrdom is more of a Christian thing. No, like it depends on how you phrase it. Martyrdom isn't really a Christian thing either. Martyrdom is something that came out of the unique arrangement of state capture apparatuses, in the last 2,000 years. The idea of what Christ did and his death for everybody was weird. That's why it worked. It was a thing that was starting to be formed around those times. That myth, that story of the one who sacrifices for all, the hero who sacrifices for all. But that's like not everyone. And then what you're supposed to do with that is not also be martyred. And so again, it's complicated, but this is not this simple is the short version, I'd say.
For your religion.
Sufis are why we have coffee. Sufis are, I got to tell you, Sufi religious practice is pretty fascinating.
So for the common good.
I don't understand how anyone takes this guy seriously. Nobody knows anything. He has 1.4 million subscribers and he was on breaking points. Like, I'm just good because we're going to get people coming in.
All right, guys, we've got yet another heavy hitter.
He's a heavy hitter. Who the fuck are you? Come on, VLT. Who the fuck are you to be talking about this heavy hitter that way? Crystal Ball clearly has her handle on all this stuff.
Good. So think of the death of Khamenei as a sacrifice, a self-sacrifice in order to motivate the Iranians in this war, okay? So that's the first thing you need to understand. That for the Iranians, this is not a geopolitical war.
What?
This is not an economic war. This is not a war of resistance. This is a jihad.
No, it's not. It is explicitly not a jihad. That is, why would they platform this fucking lunatic, man? What the fuck? One sec. I've got a couple of, I just need to look up a thing or two. I just need to, sorry. This is like, I'm not perfect in this stuff. I want to make sure I get it right. One of my favorite things I have is I have a first edition of Orientalism, and then I have a first edition of it translated into Arabic. And I used to tell people who had, mostly people who never read it, it was like, this is Orientalism, and this is the cool version. I still think it's funny to me. I still think it's funny. I don't give a fuck. I still think that's funny. Shia are not a death cult. Not like Trump's people are. That Christianity is much more that. Much more that. The idea that they're forced into jihad through defense is the opposite of this. This is Orientalism, which is fucking funny for a dude in China to do, but black dudes can fucking be racist too. It's the way it works. Everyone can be everything. The way that all of these come about and how Hussein ibn Ali, who's kind of, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of shit that goes on with all of these things, but like his influence on things and pushed the Shia community to exist was about like what heir, who was killed. I think Hussein was killed, and his martyrdom, very Christ-like, by the way, as a thing. His family too, by the way, so a little worse. but his martyrdom was not like he tried to do that. It was the if he had tried to be martyred, it wouldn't count. Like Christianity has this too. They don't talk about it, but in the Muslim faith, it's serious. If you are trying to like go somewhere so you get killed, it doesn't work quite the same way. Cynical martyrdom doesn't exist. I'm trying to like understand how cynical martyrdom as a thing works. Because like in the Shia world, it's about like mourning. There's a sadness, there's a depressive state in the Shia religion that's very much not this excitable, I want to murder everyone, or I want to sacrifice myself in joy. It is not that. It is sadness, grief. They're very focused on suffering and mourning as like the center of it. This is very awful. Jihad is one of the more it's as if I were to say to people, and I love to do this. One of my favorite, Karl Knausgaard, I have his entire series of books called My Struggle. I always ask people if they would ever buy it if it was in German. And that's one of those things that's like the language we use, we don't really care about its meaning. It's the symbols of the words and letters. So like My Struggle, by the way, and Mein Kampf. So it's a famous book. That's not a good day for everyone who's seen reading Mein Kampf, but My Struggle, I actually really like, Knausgaard. I like the series a lot. Good. Someone else loves them too. It's very unique writing, but, that thing, there are rules around jihad. There is the great jihad. Someone can correct me. If I've got a Muslim here, that'd be great. Tell me where I'm wrong if I get things wrong. But like the great jihad is the internal jihad, one's own ego being destroyed, one's own desires. It's very Eastern Buddhist adjacent, honestly. And that tends to be what jihad is talked about in religious writings and all those things. The outward struggle is the lesser jihad. Now, armed conflict can be part of that. In certain ways, there's rules. And again, these things change, but the Shia actually have a really hard line around what these things mean, and there's sets around it. It's very frustrating. I mean, striving or struggling in the way of God. Yeah. Outward physical struggle, defense, lesser jihad represents a wide range of actions, including internal efforts. Yep, it's greater and lesser. That's the words they use for it. And martyrdom this is just terrible. I hate this guy. This is like Orientalism wrapped in racism. But ultimately he is fascist. What's going to be fun? I've watched his game theory videos because I did a stream or two about him. I think Sunday has too. He doesn't do game theory. So when you hear him say, "Oh, I'm doing game theory," no, he's not. He's just making shit up. It's awful. Shura, the holiday was thinking, from my understanding, Sunnis celebrate it. Shia publicly mourn. And I mean, the Shias are really about mourning. Again, Sufi is interesting. There's a great book I liked called Sufi Deleuze. That's a real book that you can pick up and is, you know what? I'll push in the QC. And as I go, I should say, hey, everyone, how are you doing? Oh, no, I don't have it. Do I not have it? How do I not have Sufi Deleuze? Fuck me. I certainly am not going to go to Anna's archive. Anna's.archive.gl. Why would I type such a thing? Anna's-archive.gl would not be a place to go and find things that you want to read. Ever. If you type that in, you may come across many PDFs and books like Sufi Deleuze. Sufi Deleuze, Secretions of Islamic Atheism. Fuck, it's such a good read too. Such a good read. I own a copy of it somewhere. All right, we'll get that going. Good. Sufi Deleuze. That would be it, Tropical Stuck. That would be it. Michael Muhammad Knight. Tell me there's not a cooler name. It's just a fucking cool name.
Okay? It's a war against the great Satan to avenge their leader. They will fight.
That's not how this works. Just saying, that's just not how this works.
To the death. All right? That's number one.
This is like that racist shit where people were like, oh, the Japanese, they wouldn't have surrendered in World War II. They would fight to the death. It's like, yeah, they're people, stupid. That's not how this works.
Number two is this. Also that morning.
God, I want this fucking screen. It's touch, it's draw. I could do this. This would be great. And help me get a giant screen. Send over some super chats. Head up. There's a Stream Elements link that shows up there. Patreon.com/DGQC if you want to go ahead and throw me a couple bucks.
The Ayatollah was killed.
Prompt. This is page 2.5 of 50.
They really struck a school in the south of Tehran, killing about 150 school children. These are
it's true.
Girls in primary school. And again,
I got to tell you, one of the things, there's a lot of stuff I'm very fascinated by in the news about what America's doing. So we have very good targeting computers. Like that's a thing. If there is, like, we blew up a school, we did that on purpose. Like, if the school was next.
I go anti-Eddie Ping. Ho ho.
At Calabgrasa super chatted $5. Screen seed money.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We blew that up on purpose. I think we blew it up on purpose. I don't believe it's possible otherwise. The other thing that is really weird to me, and I called a buddy. I grew up in Colorado, so I know people in the Air Force and military. I've come from a military family. I know these people. The thing that is really weird is apparently Kuwait shot down 3 American fighter jets. So I don't think that's possible. Now, I'm not Mr. Military, but I would ask people who have been in the military, who've touched those things, how would that happen? Now, if it was 1, maybe, but 3? There's some weird fucky stuff going on in all of this. There's something really fucky. And again, one of the challenges we have is straight up talking about this is horrifying because we're murdering innocents doing awful things and it's monsters doing it. But if we don't analyze the machinery of the thing and go, wait a second, why is this happening? This is not just blowing up buildings. This is not just, attacking their military, doing this or that. We blew up a school and Kuwait shot down 3 American jets killing dudes. I heard it's because we didn't communicate we'd be in the air. Got to tell you, Allie, everyone I talk to thinks that's bullshit. The level of communication that happens, especially with Kuwait. Kuwait's a major partner of ours in that region and was for many years. Like, that's the other side. We're launching out of bases we helped build and forces that we have armed with our own technology that we've been doing this shit with for 25 fucking years. What the fuck? Yeah, the Illuminati haven't blessed me with this cool screen. This is fair. I got to tell you, I just need to do more anti-Jew stuff. And I think it would help. Clearly, I mean, Sagar and Crystal had this guy on.
There's a lot of debate and argument as to what happened. This really said that, first of all, the school was next to a military base. We were targeting.
As August posted, it was almost half a click away from the military base. That's not a margin of error. That's not how this works. This guy does game theory. Oh no, Persephone, I'm so sorry. You know what things mean. Oh, God. I'm so sorry that you have to be here for this. This man's an idiot. And he lies. And for him, game theory is prisoner's dilemma for the economy. We'll get there.
Here I go anti-anything. Ho ho.
Tropical's tuck tipped $4.20. Empty classroom whiteboard money. Also thank you for your analysis of D&G.
Happy to help with the analysis of D&G. Happy to help. And we're ongoing, but it's improving, luckily. Thank you very much for the empty. I would love to do this in front of an empty classroom. I would love to do 1.4. He makes enough money to do this full time and then some. He makes silly money with each one of these things. Come on, tip's there. Come on. Why are you not picking up the tip? Oh, it's because it's just under $5 after Trent. Defective Null. Hi, Brooks. Nice stream you got there. Is there any chance at all we could petition you to play Deus Ex? I mean, I enjoy playing games, and playing Deus Ex would be fun. I haven't touched it in 6 years. When I was at Starbreeze, we were working with Warren Spector on rebooting System Shock and doing System Shock 3. So I spent a year and a half of my life working with Warren Spector, close-ish, not super close. That would be Evan Ice Shits, Snow Shit. But we published that, or we did for a while before Starbreeze went. Warren Spector has a house dedicated to Disney shit. It is one of the creepiest things that I've ever experienced in my life. And I say that with all love to Warren. It is genuinely unsettling. He has a house. That's what the house is for Disney. Let me see if there's probably video of it. There's no way. No, it's creepy. It's not cool. Sorry. Don't spare it. Warren's not going to see this. He doesn't give a fuck. But,
don't believe.
Oh, fuck. Wait, Warren Spector Disney shit. Disney tour. He's a fucking nut. He is a Disney adult, by the way. Oh, come on. Is it not showing? Does he not have a tour of it? That would be hilarious. One sec. He's got to have a tour of it. Maybe not. Fair enough. Maybe not. Maybe he's private. I won't do that to him. He's a character. Brilliant, but a character.
In the military base. And second
Disney
of all,
adults
it wasn't
shouldn't
us
have money.
which struck
Capitalism exists because Disney adults have money.
the school. It was a air defense missile that went off course. Okay?
It's Warren Spector's cool. I've been fortunate. My games career has allowed me, like, I literally just abused all of my connections all the time to meet all the people I wanted to. Like, I was a fanboy when I got into making games. So being able to, like, get to know these people who I was, like, super fans of was great. And being able to, like, actually get to know them personally or work with them, it was amazing. Boneworks is as good as VR will get in my lifetime. That is both a good and a bad statement.
And the Iranians insisted no. The Israelis purposefully attacked the school to kill the school children. And then you're like, why would the Israelis do that? But then these few years, well, we've seen what they've done in Gaza, in Palestine to the Palestinians. And it's pretty consistent what the Israelis have been doing. All right? So this action against the Israelis, it's meant to show to themselves and the world that we are now all in. Okay? We've made the sacrifice.
Brooks, we have to show ID to use Linux. For those of you who don't know, law is getting passed in California, and I have a very different take than most people on this. There's a couple of things that go with it, but the law basically sets up that the next Windows or the next anything is going to have every implementation of a new operating system that works in California on devices in California. And California being a large enough market, it's going to be significant. It's enough. It's the way that like Texas's fucking curriculum basically writes curriculum for half the schools in America. Shit. Tropic says, oh no, join anytime. Love to have you. Glad I can help with your D&G shit. Always. The law basically outlines that rather than, and it's, there's so many layers to this. Remind me to ask about it afterwards, because there's a lot. Wish I didn't know that about Spectre now. His games are still great. Epic Mickey is a fucking masterpiece because of that Disney house. I think Epic Mickey is one of his best games. I genuinely do. And I think if you haven't played Epic Mickey, you are doing yourself a disservice. I hate Disney. I think it's garbage. I think it's the stupidest shit ever. Epic Mickey is fucking brilliant. Flatly. The art direction, the design, the way everything happens in it is so fucking next level in the world of development. I don't even know how to like handle how good it is. It's so good. And that's Warren Spector. That's how he gets to be the way he is.
We are now committed to this war, to winning this war at all costs. And this action has also provoked the Iranian people to resist with their full might, okay?
That's not true.
So I want you to keep this in mind. And again, we don't have...
That's not true. Again, resist what? Like, resist what? Does he have this fantasy that the U.S. and the U.S. doesn't think that they're going to go in and just run the country? No. Our goal is no different than it is for Venezuela. Like, Hegseth and Trump are not trying to, like, make Iran the 51st state. They just want to run it. Hey, just let people be in charge, and we'll just handle your exports, and I'll see your money. It's horrifying, but they're not trying to take it over. Not like that. Not in a way that the Iranian people can really resist. Because what do?
Complete evidence that it's the Israelis who did this, but given past actions from the Israelis, this is fairly consistent with what they've done. Okay? So we can assume that this is something the Israelis did. Why they did this, what the purpose is something we will discuss as we move on. Okay? It's very complicated. Next, I want to show you this. This is Dubai. And Dubai is considered one of the wealthiest, safest cities in the world. There are thousands, tens of thousands of Westerners who move to Dubai because it's clean, you don't pay any taxes, you make a lot of money. And
Westerners is an interesting phrase there. I'm pressing X to doubt.
And
sure.
There are great restaurants. And this is really the economic model of Dubai. It's one of the GCC countries, okay? The Gulf coastal countries. And for the longest time, Dubai had a really good deal because they were under the protection of the American military. So they didn't have to pay for defense. And then they were in the Middle East, which is the oil producing center of the world. And so they focus on aviation, they focus on logistics, they focus on finance, on tourism. They actually...
Someone who visited Dubai should not feel safe. Dubai is not safe for women. I would hesitate to say it's not super safe in general. There are, if you get a feel for where you can go, and I'm 6'6" fucking giant motherfucker. I can go anywhere I goddamn want. I'm very fortunate. I enjoy going to the dangerous areas of every city I've ever been in. I like it. That includes like Detroit. It doesn't bother me the same way. Detroit for most people, not Detroit too. Dubai, I would say, is very, very illusory in its safety. Compared to, like, let's say Beijing or Shanghai or Guangzhou or we'll just go with those. I actually think that they're some of the safest cities I've ever been in. Like scary safe to the point where it's eerie. That totally safe. I would, if my daughter was like 16, she's like, I want to go travel the world. And she's like, I want to go to Shanghai. I'd be like, all right, there's some things, but I'd be like, sure, we can go do that. If she wanted to visit Dubai, no, absolutely not. Actually, most places in the Middle East would be like, yeah, we can't. Sorry, we can't. Be like visiting India. Pass. Hard fucking pass. Especially for women. Might be too confident in that. I mean, I've done it. I've done it. There are some places I probably wouldn't do it, but I've done that. I did it in parts of Vietnam, like in places that were definitely not normal safe. Just don't be stupid. Be around the right people.
Wealthy, right? I'm not sure if you've taken Emirates, one of the best airlines in the world.
Day trip to New York City in a week or two. A day trip as in like you have an hour and you want a recommendation of a thing to do? And is it food? I can give you food recommendations all the time in New York. Shop recommendations, less so. New York used to be a very interesting place to like go and shop and find like cool fashion or secondhand clothes. Doesn't really exist the same way anymore. But if you want food, I got food. If you want things to walk around, if you can, there is, 1 second. I always make sure that places are still open. We live in a weird economy. If you're here, you're probably a books person. If you haven't been to the Strand, if you're like, hey, Brooks, you're going to be in New York for 5 hours. All 5 hours would be at the Strand. That would be it. I would be at the Strand and I would just walk around. I would spend my hour and a half I do in their antique book area. I'd go downstairs. I know exactly the shelves I visit. I can even tell you how many steps and where to turn if you want to go to the good philosophy and then the academic philosophy, which is not in the good philosophy section. It's good philosophy section. They have an academic area where they have those books that no one can get because they printed 100 of them. It's crazy. Crazy. Don't you have that one bookstore you like? The Strand is at New York. Green Apple Books is in San Francisco. Those are it. Powell's here in Portland. So books would be my thing. Beyond that, if you want food, and depending on where you're at in the city, I have many recommendations. Hit me on Discord, discord.gg/DGQC.
World. So their airport, Dubai Airport, is the busiest in the world.
That's true.
And Dubai.
We went over Dubai a couple days ago on the stream. The mall I was there to build stuff in. It's a long story. We replaced Sega Revolution, which was the world's largest arcade, with the world's largest VR arcade. The mall had almost 70 million people visit it that year. It's numbers that don't make sense.
The longest time.
Do I get video thumbnails from those books? No, I don't. That video thumbnail is stock imagery.
Was flourishing under American protection. And Dubai said to the world, listen, we're like Switzerland. We're neutral. We don't want any involvement.
There are a lot of really cool bookstores in New York. If you want to do a really interesting used bookstore, it's one of my stops if I ever make it in. I'll do the Strand. If I'm there for like work, I go for like a week maybe. I'll do the Strand, and you can only do it once. I can only do it once because I do it for 5 fucking hours. I was there for a conference a couple of years ago, and people came and found me there to like talk to me because they knew I was going to be there. It was bad. But there's a handful of other really, really good high-end bookstores that are kind of all over the place. One like Soho and other shit I love it. But again, I have food recommendations would be my other big one.
Any wars. We're here just to take care of our citizens, to make sure everyone has a good time, to make money. And then right after the war started, the Iranians attacked the GCC, okay?
What?
We don't want any involvement in any wars. We're here just to take care of our citizens, to make sure everyone has a good time, to make money. And then right after the war started, the Iranians attacked.
That's not true. The UAE and Dubai and Abu Dhabi have American bases from which attacks were launched. So that's just not true.
The GCC, okay? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, they attacked these places.
Because they were attacked. They didn't attack those places. Like, this is the language of this. Man, they did not attack these places. They attacked American bases in those places. That's the big deal. That's a big deal.
What's going on? We're neutral, man. We're not involved.
Union Square location, to be clear. Oh, yes, the Strand. The Strand, the one by Union Square is the only one. It's the only one. As far as I'm concerned, there's not another one. Just easier that way.
In this war. And the airport was shut down in Dubai. At one point, the rich people in Dubai were willing to pay about 250,000 US dollars just to get on a plane and get out of there. Okay? So, the reality is this. For the longest time, Dubai had a reputation for being safe, and that's why people moved their money there. Guess what, guys? After what the Iranians did, it's dead. Dubai as a city, in the long term, it is dead. Because you're a wealthy Westerner, you're not going to move to a place where it could be attacked anytime. But
Speaking of Detroit, John K. King Bookstore. My family's from my dad's family's from Detroit, so there's a lot of extraordinary places in Detroit that have just an amazing history. I've been to, if you know Detroit, I've been to maybe 9-10 concerts at St. Andrews Hall. That's a street credibility thing in that fucking city. I know I've got it. It's okay.
By the Iranians. You might move to Singapore, you might move to Hong Kong, Japan, South America, but you're not moving to Dubai, okay? So the big question for us is, why did the Iranians do this? It was the Israelis and the Americans who attacked you. Why go after the GCC?
Are you fucking moron?
All right.
Has Abu Dhabi been attacked? Neither have been attacked much before this. That there's an interesting conversation around what is the future of the UAE, given that they are from Dubai. You can see Iran. It's across a bunch of water, but it isn't like it's there. You get up in the Burj Khalifa, you can go, oh, fuck. Like, it's just, you can, that it's a thing that's worth thinking about, because the reason Abu Dhabi, less Abu Dhabi, more Dubai exists the way it does is because it's for expats. Like, the people who live there and all of that, their oil money, they're trying to build more. They're trying to do everything. It's all failing. Like, Saudi Arabia is not winning the battle of like minds and hearts and all that shit. Neither is Dubai, neither is Abu Dhabi. Qatar and Oman, no. Like, this shit's not happening. So maybe it does. I mean, I can imagine it would have a significant impact. They've been traditionally safe. I still think, again, most people are not going to be like, oh my God, they got attacked. It's like, yeah, they're part of the U.S.
And not only that, but they're escalating the attacks.
Dan's like, he's speaking to the class thing blows my mind now. It is, he acts like there's a class there. And it's, my bet, I made this joke last time, is that he has two mops, like that he flipped upside down and he like drew a face on, because he keeps looking camera, space, space, as if there are teleprompters, right? Like it's there. The line was the dumbest idea by rich, stupid people. No, it wasn't. It was if you think the purpose was to build the line. It wasn't. You know how Trump is doing this boondoggle of a ballroom? I think that's about building a ballroom. It's not about building anything. It's about consolidating power, finding friends, creating soft power structures that you can take advantage of, and getting a big bag of money that you can use to control people.
against the GCC. So this is something that we will look at.
Then what about the students who ask him questions? There's no students that ask him questions.
Very closely today. Well, the short answer is because
you're free to let me know when that happens in this video. I would love to get there.
These places, even though they pretend to be neutral, they house the American military. They allow the Israelis and Americans to use their airspace to
kind of burying the lead,
Iran
buddy.
From. All right. So this is Bahrain. Now Bahrain is interesting, okay? Because I want you guys to remember this. But Bahrain will probably be one of the major centers of this conflict. Because, first of all, this is the American Fifth Fleet. All right, this is their naval base in the Middle East. And as you can see, the Iranians are attacking it with missiles. And it's being blown up. Bahrain is interesting because it has about 50% or even more, okay, Shia, which is the religion of the Iranians. But the people in charge are the Sunnis. And so, what makes this strike really important?
Look, I'm not going to like nitpick too much, but my understanding of them is that actually the Sunnis have that edge in, like, it's a minor majority. I'm not saying like it's wide, but I don't think this is correct.
From our perspective is, first of all, not only are the Iranians attacking U.S. military assets, not only are they destroying the economies of the GCC, but they're also trying to ignite a religious war, right?
You think he's in Canada? I am trying to figure out where the fuck he is.
Because you're Shia, you're loyal to the Ayatollah. And if he's dead,
that's not really necessarily true. There's some it's more complicated than just like, oh, that's our God. That's not how that
then
works.
You must, as a religious obligation, now commit jihad against your enemies. And it's no different in other religions where, listen, if you want to kill the Pope, the Catholics would be really angry at you and they would want to kill you, right? So now you have the Shia who will probably eventually arise, creating a revolution in Bahrain, okay? So I think Bahrain will be the first to fall. Dubai will probably go bankrupt, okay? But in the long term, we can expect the entire GCC area, including Saudi Arabia, to eventually collapse, okay? And so
I don't have a disagreement here. I went to school in Yale. Like I have a bio on him if you want to like go through it. Like from what I was able to put together from the last time we did it. Chinese Canadian. He went to Yale with a BA in English Lit. He teaches now at a Beijing high school that some say is like a private foreign school. It's like the American school or the English school. I'm not sure about any of that. I can't quite get anything more than that. He literally stole from Asimov the idea of psychohistory and uses it as his setup. He's a fucking lunatic.
this is something we'll use game theory to understand. All right, let's continue. So,
well, yeah, I think Bragg, that's kind of where I can't like disagree with him here. That, as I said earlier, the thing that's really interesting about anyone who has money in the Middle East, well, older people, they talk about how, like I said, that my great grandfather rode a camel, my grandfather, like they talk about it this way. They know they're on the way out and they're trying to figure out how to do more. And it's wild.
We will know how this war develops just based on geography, okay? So this is a map. And this map, even...
And yes, Ego, it's worth just noticing, just want to make sure a statement everyone knows. He went viral for a video. We can actually go find it. I mean, he's a fucking lunatic. Everything. But he went super viral for a video last year, right here. The Iran trap.
Okay, let's start class.
Look, I'm just going to let you know there's no class. But this video went viral, has almost 3 million views.
So, where there, this is Iran. Why? That's the first reason. Iran has a bad history with America. What else? Guys, which country is next door? What happened in Iraq? America destroyed Iraq, right?
I mean, I'm just like, he waits for an answer. So here's the thing. It is possible there is a class there. Okay? It is entirely possible. I don't know how to handle the idea that it's possible that there's a class here.
From 2003 into 2011, America was there destroying the country. It was a lot for Athens. By the end of the decade, knew the war Soviets. Let's go back to mass forces, avoid encirclement, protect supply lines. How much you fight this war? There's only one way you
He teaches English in a high school. And this is apparently what he claims his class is.
You can fight this war. Excuse me? How do you disrupt supply lines?
There's a voice.
There's only one way you can fight this war and win.
However, I have a theory.
How much you fight this war? There's only one way you can fight this war.
I have a theory. Do you want to hear my theory? I still don't think there's anyone in the classroom. There we go. Samurai got it. He pushed the play button.
There's only one way you can fight this war.
I am going to...
How much you fight this war?
1 sec. 2 seconds.
There's only one way you can fight this war.
I'm going to turn the volume up psychotically. If you have headphones or anything else, just turn shit down. I just am going to like overindulge the fuck out of this stream for a second. It literally is as he presses that button. It literally is as he presses that button.
To me? How do you disrupt?
I don't think I need any other. Like, I think it's reasonable for me to make my claim.
Supply lines. There's only one way you can fight this war and win. And what is it?
I think if my daughter, who was a high schooler, came home and told me that her English teacher was letting me know about supply lines and how to win the war in Iran, I'd probably get him fired.
The enemy is attacking you, right? So what must you do? Okay, the answer is you must retreat. Okay? Why? The enemy is attacking, right? So you pull back your forces. Exactly, okay? It's that simple, okay? What's the logic of that? Exactly, okay? It's that simple, okay?
I am fascinated by this. Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't really know the war, even if you don't know the participants, even if you don't know the weaponry, this map will tell you exactly how this war will progress. All right, so some certain things to keep in mind about this map. This is what we call this area, okay, really small, it's 33 kilometers wide, okay? People can swim across it. It's really, really narrow, okay? This small area, guys, it's called the Strait of Hormuz. All right? And
it's important because it's really the center of the world. This one area is the nexus, the pivot of the world. Let me explain why. First of all, from the GCC, you have 20% of all the world's oil flowing through this narrow strait. Where does it go, guys? It goes to Asia, India, Pakistan.
Is he a CCP agent? I genuinely, I think this is far more interesting than anything we could probably imagine that this is. I find him fascinating. I genuinely do. Because I think I think he's a lunatic.
South Korea, China.
Fuck, I'm so jealous of that whiteboard though.
Japan. India depends on 60% of its oil from this area. China depends on 40%. Japan, 75%.
I wonder if that's true. Let's find out. That's a thing I'm going to take a second to look up because that's interesting. Japan's actually 90% of its crude through that area. Yeah. Okay.
Prime Minister Takeichi of Japan has said that, listen, if the Strait of Hormuz closes, we will run out of oil in about 8-9 months. The entire Japanese economy would collapse in 8-9 months.
Well, okay. See there, he layers. Japan would be about 9 months in. That's from what I read, because I was looking up how much they import. They have about 9 months of oil. But framing it as inevitable collapse instead of, oh my God, this closes and so they can't do anything, so they're fucked. There are other options. Closing the Strait of Hormuz, like this thing, would be in the interests of America. Because can I name a country that Japan would go to for its energy? America.
If the Strait of Hormuz were to close. And guess what? The Iranians have closed the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? So
we went over this. Like, it's kind of... Brooks closed the Strait of Hormuz. It has about as much weight.
Expect that the entire global economy will suffer greatly over the next few months. All right, so that's point number one. Point number two is, okay, so the GCC sends oil across the Strait of Hormuz, and what do they get back in return? Food, guys. All right, so people don't appreciate the GCC, but it is really the linchpin of the American empire. Because what is the American empire? The American empire is the petrodollar. All right? The idea of the petrodollar is this. The US dollar is worth nothing. It's only valuable when people want it. But the GCC says that if you want oil from us, you have to pay us in US dollars. Okay? Then that is the basis of the value of the US dollar. So, if the GCC collapses, the American economy and the American empire both collapse at the same time.
I don't think that's accurate.
The problem, though, is that GCC is an artificial construct of empire.
I don't know if I can do another. We're 13 minutes in. We're not even a third of the way through this video. He's just insane. Because it's like when you start talking about this shit. So, okay. Let's start with the first thing. The dollar's value is not dependent on the petrodollar. Okay? That's not how it works. Okay? The hegemony of the dollar is like a lot more than just that. Like it matters. The petrodollar effect, like that shit affects it, sure. But if you don't think like the US financial market might have a thing to do with it, there is no other bond market that is as liquid as ours. That, like, what the fuck, dude? The IMF uses the dollar. Like, what the fuck is going on? It's insane. But that's like the other side of this is like the agreement of the petrodollar. It's already over. Like it ended like a year and a half ago now, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. Saudi Arabia began accepting yuan. I think euros as well, and other currencies too. They've been doing this slowly for years. The petrodollar switching away and the formal petrodollar agreement has been gone for a bit. Like, it's this nonsense of what he does is it's baked into parts of truth that you can attach to. You can look at them and go, oh my God, petrodollar is dependent on the dollar. It's like, that's true. But like when you talk about the scale of things, like Saudi Arabia has like 150 billion in US treasuries, right? But like, and that sounds like a lot. And so when you read that, you're like, fuck, that's so fucking much money, dude. It's so much fucking money. Except it's the 22nd largest, 25th largest holder. Like, right. Japan has $1 trillion. Saudi Arabia doesn't even come close to that. The US dollar is volatile as fuck. I mean, it's intended to be. Volatility is what makes the US dollar worthwhile. Like that's like, granted, everyone's got their own economic school, so I shouldn't say it's economics 101, but it's kind of economics 101. Like, if it had super stability, it wouldn't be interesting. But like all of these things then compound when he's like, the GCC is the linchpin of the American empire. It's like, wait, what? The fucking nonsense shit is this? Like, no. It's so fucking stupid.
It does not exist naturally. Why? Because that's no food, that's no oil, no water. Okay, guys? No food, no water. So these cities are able to grow in the millions because of all these petrodollars flowing in. If you close off the Strait of Hormuz, there's no food coming in, right?
Yeah.
They're all going to starve.
That's not good.
How much food does the GCC get from overseas? 80%.
Yeah, I think it's more than that even.
80% of all the food it consumes.
I mean, if you haven't been, not a lot of farms in Dubai. Not a lot of farms. And vertical farming and all of that fad didn't really take off.
Comes from overseas, that it imports. It doesn't grow by itself.
Countries are pulling away from the dollar. Well, again, you got to be very careful about how you use this language. It's true. Countries are moving, and BRIC has been doing a fuck ton of the work for that. But they're not like moving away from the dollar. They're diversifying, and the dollar is still the staple. And there's a reason for that. Capital requires that singular like value place. Now, people believe that it may become other things, and we may move to, I don't know, yuan. I do not foresee us moving to yuan. I do not. I don't think China has that. I don't think we'll get there. I don't think that'll work. Switching from the dollar to something else as the center point of capital, I think is going to be way more destructive than people are aware of. Like terrifying.
It imports. All right? So the Strait of Hormuz is really key. And again, the Iranians will close it in order to strangle the global economy and therefore bankrupt the American empire. All right? Second thing you will notice is these mountains. These mountains is what we call Iran. All right, this is Iran. This is GCC. Okay, this is not a fair matchup, right? Because these are mountains. And what can you do in mountains? Well, you can hide rocket bases. You can hide drone bases. You can hide missiles.
Actually, no. You really can't, dude. Like, just take a second and think about what hiding a base means in an era of satellite imagery. And then go, yeah, but it's closer.
And that's the entire Iranian offensive strategy. All right? From here, they can hide
missiles and drones from which to attack the GCC. And what are they attacking? They're attacking three things, right? They're attacking American military bases.
Yes.
American.
I'm telling you right now, my brain is slowly dying. Like this is not going to be a much longer of a stream at this point. I'm just warning you right now. This is fucking unbelievable, and just the dumbest shit I've seen. And it's 3.5 million views. This is going to be one of the biggest videos today. Daily Show was 4.4 million views yesterday. And it's all because they had some crackpot lunatic. Fuck you both, by the way. Anyone who has to do with fucking breaking points, fuck you people. Ridiculous human beings that you would do this. Just because you can have the title, Professor Zhang predicts U.S. will lose Iran war. And it's because of the Jews and the Illuminati for him. What the fuck, man? What the fuck, man? It's just so heartbreaking to sort of see people do this, see people set this up, to see people put this in a position where they're going to be talking like this and saying this, and it's like, what the fuck? I'm going to end here. Like, this is going to be the end of the day for me. It's end of it. I'm done. But in a few hours, my new essay on gregariousness comes out, because as we're going through Anti-Oedipus, we're restarting it. And we're doing a lot with Klosowski and Nietzsche, herd mentality, the gregariousness, the gregarious herd, all that stuff. I want to make sure that I hit a lot of notes that we're already hitting. So when we talk about what is gregariousness, my new video pops tomorrow. I'm going to send you guys to the premiere. Give it a like, give it a little love, give it a comment in the live stream or whatever. All that stuff helps in the algo that pushes it to more people for the premiere. Premiere will be early America time. So I'm going to sleep. I'm not gonna be around for that, but, give it some love, send people there. It'll be great. Other than that, you can join us live at literally any fucking time. If you didn't know, it's very easy to do. You just go, hey, Brooks, how do I get there? And I say, if I can click the button, hey, you just go right to discord.gg/DGQC and you head on in. We right now, apparently we got brigaded. So someone mass reported us, and I'm working with Discord. They're reviewing, they're letting us know. They're very communicative, which I did not expect from Discord, frankly. So I'm pretty good with that. I'm happy with that. They're way faster responses on this than I thought they would. I expected us to never hear anything. So I have hope. Will that turn into anything? I don't think so. I think there's a good chance. But we got age restricted for no reason. So best of luck getting in. If you're in iOS, you have to actually enable that in the desktop. It's a whole fucking thing. Google it. But we'd love to have you. On top of that, if you can and have the ability to support me, please drop a super trap, drop a membership, head over to patreon.com/DGQC and give $5 a month, a cup of coffee, all that fun stuff always fucking works. I have essays coming every day this week. I've got more coming this weekend and then next week and then the week after. I've got just so much set up, making a go of this. So we're going to see what happens. So should be blast, should be fun. And thank all of you across the board. It's treat of my week, as I always say. And don't worry. You can go back. Trust me. This one's a fun one. And this one's a fun one. This one's a fun one. I want to know if he hit play on his laptop to make that sound. That's my thing. But with that, thank you all. I will see you all soon enough. Thursday, we've got Klosowski. Join the DGQC. You could see all of our readings. And I will see you all soon enough.